Community Updates podcast right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the land. I'm your host, Michelle White. And this evening we have fabulous author Khadijah Muhammad, who's going to be talking about some things. She's a community activist as well as an author, and there's a lot of things going on in the city. There's a movement right now of about just about injustice, and she's written a wonderful book that we're going to be talking about. And I just found out it's a true story, and it's about her story. So she's going to share that with us. Again, you've tuned in right here to Community Updates right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the land. And if you go to my Facebook page, Michelle Turner White, I always list a host of wonderful information, things to help in our community. And prom time is coming up, and someone called me and asked me, did I know, or text me, did I know about any free prom dress giveaways? I have recently posted at least four different organizations that are giving away prom dresses. So go to Michelle Turner White on Facebook and on Instagram. And then also there's some expungements, fairs, and things coming up. There's just a myriad of information that will be good for you to check out. Might be something good for you, or to share it. Share it with someone else. And when you tune into our show here, Community Updates, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share. Again, we thank you for tuning in to Community Updates. I'm your host, Michelle White. If you have any questions or comments that you'd like to make, please do so on WJZZ Cool TV Facebook page. You can comment there and we'll see them, or you can go to YouTube and comment there and we will see them as well. Miss Khadijah Muhammad, we thank you for being our guest this evening, and we're so glad to have you. I'm going to read a little bit of excerpts from your bio. So, Khadijah Muhammad is a dynamic author, dedicated activist, and entrepreneur. She's the author of a couple of books. One is Walk on Water, which is an inspiring forthcoming book that explores themes of courage, faith, and resilience in the face of life's challenges. Well, that's a mouthful. Doesn't do we have some challenges in life? And to be faithful and endure them and be resilient is a mouthful. So we look forward to that one. That one's not out just yet.
Not
That's the
yet,
one you're
but
working on.
coming soon.
Wonderful. And through this powerful narrative, Muhammad encourages readers to find strength and grace during difficult moments, offering valuable insights and motivation for personal growth and transformation. Another one of her works that we're going to be talking about this evening is Life, Liberty, and Injustice. And through this thought provoking expose, she delves into cases of overt discrimination in the United States and abroad. This book challenges readers to confront the paradox of human progress, highlighting ongoing struggles that powerful dynamics, violence, and a lack of empathy. Muhammad calls for a focus on compassion, self-awareness, and external achievement to address these societal challenges, making her work both sobering and enlightening. Well, we look forward to hearing more about that. And Khadijah has also been the chapter president for the NAACP in Charleston, North Carolina,
West Virginia.
I'm sorry, Charleston, West Virginia. And she's devoted her life to activism, and she's worked under Coleman A. Young, who was the mayor for the city of Detroit. And now she's taken her activism from West Virginia and has brought it to Detroit and doing phenomenal things, which we're going to hear more about right here in this, that she's been doing right here in the city of Detroit. She also had an opportunity to work with Harry Belafonte, who we know was a well known human rights activist. And she gleaned a lot of things from working with him as well. So we just thank you, Khadijah, for being our guest today. And we're going to hop right into, how did you get involved in the NAACP?
Well, when I moved to Charleston, West Virginia, well, let me start. Being around Coleman Young here when he was mayor just made me want to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as I was learning the political circles and just learning from him as my mentor,
Mm-hmm.
when I moved away, the opportunity
Mhm.
rocked in my face.
Okay.
And so when I went there and I saw, well, okay, I can make this place really do some stuff.
Mhm.
And of course, it was a challenge. Have you ever had a dream or a vision that you were going to do something one day, and then the opportunity knocks, and there it was?
Thus the podcast. I
Yes.
said I would like to speak more and do more public speaking and share with the community. And I was in a Zoom meeting some one day, and somebody said, "Hey, would you like to do a podcast?"
See, that's how it works.
That's how it
That's how
works.
it worked. And my opportunity was
Hmm.
right in my face, and I
Hmm.
was able to. I call it a God-given moment,
Hmm.
and that moment allowed me to just turn it into my best times, my
Mm.
best moments in life. That was my foundation for
Awesome
me.
for you.
Yes.
And then you got to tell us about Harry Belafonte. I know you
Oh
just
well,
gleaned
this is the
numerous
thing.
things from him.
One thing I have enjoyed, even watching him with other people,
Uh-huh.
is the fact that he encourages you to be your best.
Mm.
And when he sees something in you, he'll say, for me, he's take that ball and run with it.
Mm.
And that's what I was able to do.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
And so, West Virginia was a ground for me to blossom and show what I learned from Coleman and other people around here. And I loved it because it
So
seemed
some
like
of your
magic to me.
tell us about some of the things that you were able to accomplish there and
Okay.
here.
Well, there I was able to get the first female chief of police.
Okay.
I was able to get the first black Supreme Court state judge.
Hmm.
I was able to have a gentleman that was in the education department. He worked with me. The dynamic thing that I'm mostly proud of is we had the first violent situation in West Virginia, not a school killing before Columbine,
Hmm.
but the awareness came to me,
Hmm.
and this is pretty much how that book came about.
Hmm.
And I was able to um, take it and simmer it down before it got out of hand.
Okay. So what year was this? So they were
It's
this was before
Oh
Columbine.
yeah, this
Hmm.
is we're talking back in 1993, 94.
Okay.
And what was happening, a young man and his mother moved from here,
Hmm.
and the mother being Caucasian and the son being biracial,
Okay.
and a very handsome young man.
Hmm.
And the girls liked him, very distinguished little guy, and he knew how to play basketball.
Hmm.
And the other guys at the school threatened to hurt him, and they tortured. I mean, they literally mentally tortured him, and no one would believe it. He would go home and he'd be kind of depressed. The mother would tell the principal, tell the superintendent. Nobody listened to her, so she got fed up because she could see her son changing,
Mm.
and seeing him change in her eye to the point that he didn't want to go to school.
Mm.
So she
From being
moseyed on
bullied.
down. Yeah,
Mm.
moseyed on down to the office. I was sitting in the NAACP office, and she said, "Look, I need help."
I'm laughing because I think my grandchildren are afraid to tell me when I ask them if somebody bullied them because they already know Granny will go make them right.
Oh, you're gonna be the silly.
Better ask
I know that's
somebody.
right. Well, that's how I felt. I mean, I could see the fear in her eye that her son was losing his self-esteem.
Mm.
And so she talked to me, and I brought it before the people, and I said, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to go talk to the principal." Denied it. Go
Mm.
to the school board meeting.
Mm.
They had us sitting there to the last group sitting there, and we could hear them in the back room laughing and act like we weren't there.
Mm.
And I said, "Hey, we're not getting anywhere.
Mm.
We're going to call the FBI."
And people, you need to listen to your children. And sometimes, as a parent or grandparent, listen to what they're not saying.
True.
Listen to what they're not saying. And when they tell you, sometimes I've heard parents say, "Oh, they're just making that up." You don't
No,
know that.
no,
Check it out.
no. It's
There's
the
a lot
silent
of bully.
word.
The that's what I say.
Yeah.
Listen, even what they're not saying.
Yes, yes.
The
And
silent words, because
mhm,
there's a lot of bullying going on, cyberbullying and in-person bullying, and it should not be. And it is up to our job. Now, I'm not saying you go and lay hands on people at the school, but you get to talk to the parents.
yes,
And you can't, and even the teachers, you have to be careful of.
yes.
The administration, like
That
you're
was that
saying
was a
here.
part of his
Yes.
anger. Nobody was listening.
Mm-hmm.
The vice principal, she saw something, but
Mm-hmm.
she wouldn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't say anything until we got to the point where the press and the FBI, and then she began to say, "Look, I did see something, but I couldn't say nothing because the principal didn't want to say it."
Mm-hmm.
And so here you have it always happens in a situation where you, in my case, the young men were well kept young men. Their parents, West Virginia is a gun place. People have them in the back of the trucks. They shut down
Oh, I
school
can
just
remember
to go
being in
to.
West Virginia one time, walking into a restaurant. This was had to be in the late '80s,
Hmm.
and the look, like, don't you niggas know you're not supposed to walk in here? And we're from the north, we ain't know, but we
Yeah.
we politely got up and left. It was the whole place like a movie.
Yeah, that
Turned
was one of
around and
those
looked
small
at us.
town looks.
Small town,
Yeah.
Beckley, West Virginia.
Oh, that was where my auntie was from. When I
Uh,
wasn't that far up
yeah,
to
well,
the.
they looked at us like, this is not for you.
Yeah, see, I was in the bigger city, but
Uh-huh.
still, you had to kind of know, read people no matter where
Mm,
you go. Even
mm-hmm,
now, you just have
mm-hmm,
to read them.
mm-hmm,
But I can imagine that sense of fear, because that's what I saw within the community. That why don't we have more of this, more of that? Why is
mm-hmm,
it that people seem to be semi complacent, even though everybody was educated?
mm-hmm,
All the black people basically knew how to play golf,
mm-hmm.
and you and
So they were making connections on the golf court, but not getting as much done within the city as
y-
far as rights and
there you
injustice.
go. And
Okay.
so first it was like, oh, you're gonna be a smart northerly coming here. You can't do what we if we would have done it if it can be done.
Mm.
Well, God works in mysterious ways.
Doesn't he that?
Because when you don't know what other people know that's been keeping them from getting it done,
Yeah.
you do things a tad bit different.
So you were able to get some things done in Charleston, West Virginia.
Well, sometimes when you're in politics, when people say, see, I wasn't into the marching,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel sometimes with marching, it just lets people see who's against us,
Mm-hmm.
and you won't get anywhere.
Okay.
But when you sit at the table, and I always believe until you learn to sit at the table
Mm-hmm.
and just talk one on one as a human being, sometimes people let their guard down,
Mm-hmm.
and then they begin to see, oh, you're different. Let me see let's see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get a little bit more comfortable with the fact that you can say, hey, look, now this is what we need, and this is what we're demanding. And so this is why even now, demands, no matter what we're going to run for, we have to make sure we're not looking at just the name, but we
Mm-hmm.
got to look at the do of the person.
Mm-hmm.
Are they able to sit with the administration and get something done, or are they there to get a paycheck?
Well, oftentimes too, people can't be so boisterous. When you do a lot of yelling, you
Yes,
don't always get things accomplished because people tune you out,
right.
or they get sick of hearing your voice and give you maybe a portion of what you're asking for. Maybe.
And people know what they're not doing, so you don't have to keep beating them in the head with it. They already
Mm-hmm.
just tell me what you want, and let's see what we can get it done. And I felt kind of compelled to go for a higher office there,
Mm-hmm.
but my mother got sick, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to come back this way. And this is when I worked with Helen Moore. Even though I done more stuff there, I made the sacrifice because my mother was more important than my career.
Oh, definitely.
And so you only get one, you might get
Only get
two.
one, honey. When my mother got sick before she transitioned, I got a bed right there in the hospital. Was right there with her.
Yes.
Cleaned her, washed her feet, toes, you name it, brushed her teeth, whatever she needed.
Right.
I was right there.
And sometimes you have to make those
Mm-hmm.
decisions, and you have to trust God that even though you let that go, there's
Mm-hmm.
something greater for you because He knows how you work.
Yes. Yeah. We only get one mother.
Right. Right.
So you went from West Virginia, and then you came to Detroit, started doing some things, or had you already worked with Coleman Young before you
I
went
worked
there?
with Coma before, but
Okay.
at this when I came back, I became more active with Helen Moore.
Okay.
Most of the people that I worked with before Coleman, they've either passed away
Mm-hmm.
or retired out of the city
Okay.
establishments.
And Helen Moore, you said, was a
Is a Helen Moore is an activist for education.
okay.
She's one of those people that the school system. If you ever been to a city school board meeting, you'll
Mm-hmm.
know Helen Moore because she doesn't hold her tongue. Not only is she an
But
activist, she's
she's
a
getting
lawyer.
things done.
Well, she knows how to. Well, Keep the Vote Taker was a grassroots organization,
Okay.
and I was able to work with them, and
Okay.
I was able to earn their trust.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a rally about the school system at that time. People didn't want the academy schools to become more popular than the public schools,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was part of the rally to make people become aware of, they're getting rid of public schools right in our face, and we're going to lose the power of our community. Back in the day, everybody worked in the school that was in our community.
Mhm.
So if you got in trouble, you see somebody, Miss Jones or Miss Johnson from the community, is
This-
calling your mother because she was working in the cafeteria or
But the whole school system has some challenges. I used
yes,
to teach in the school system, and the youth did not understand the importance of computer technology beyond Facebook and
true.
social media. And they would try to tell me, "Oh, Miss White, we don't I don't need that because I don't need her to learn that because my dad works in the auto in Fords or Chrysler and he doesn't
Hmm.
have to use computer and I'm going to go work there. My mother is a hairstylist and she doesn't have to use computers." I said, "Well, now they have automation,
Hmm.
with
Robots and
robotics."
hmm
And even to get your hair done, you can put styles on your face to
yes,
see if you're going to like it before it's done. So you do
right.
need to learn, but I had to explain that to them. Something I guess I thought they should have known
Hmm. Hmm.
already. And they don't carry books like we used to carry books.
And I think that matters
Mm-hmm.
because um, just the printing on a paper and being able to just meditate into that moment of that paper
Mm-hmm.
does something for you other than looking at a screen.
Mm-hmm. I
You
totally agree.
know.
Soon I'm glad I was almost going to do it last week, but it will be doing it soon. Talking about books, the importance of hard copy
Yeah.
books opposed to just looking at books on the screen. But before we're going to talk about the state of the power of the people tour, and we're going to talk about your book. We want to hear how life, liberty, and injustice came about. But before we get to that, again, we thank you for tuning in to Community Updates podcast right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the land. And one of our sponsors is ABB Wealth Strategies, where they show you how to take your investments and multiply them, whether you're going into retirement or already in retirement. Give Todd Bernstein a call at 248 988 8200. Again, that's ABB Wealth Strategies, 248 988 8200. Give them a call today, and you will get peace of mind once you do. So, Khadijah, tell us about your book and how you came to write Life, Liberty, and Injustice. And you're going to tell it, I know it can be found on Amazon. Uh, um,
Sure.
yes, tell us
Yes.
about that.
Well, after going through the situation with the mother and her son,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to court, and I was able to implement working with the education system, working with some of the senators. One was John Rockefeller, and working with the boys' home that we requested with the judge that
Mm-hmm.
they would send these boys away.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time, when you get in trouble as a child, if you don't separate yourself from your environment, you're not going to learn anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went away for like 3 months, and which was an opportunity to get them to see what crime they committed with this young man. They hung his cat. They drive past his house playing Confederate flag music.
Mm-hmm.
They told him he was going to kill him. So after the Columbine shootings,
And
oh, I
these were
did go on the
children doing that.
yes, these were high school children. After going on the Phil Donahue show, and
Okay.
and talking about we're heading in a direction
Mm-hmm.
because we're not paying attention to our kids,
Mm-hmm.
and we're getting ready to see something we've never seen before because we're too busy trying to provide and do for ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
think our kids are okay with what we give them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one of the changing times that when the school shootings started taking a precedent to the world, it did something to me to say we can fix this. Nobody's listening. So trying to get in touch with politicians and trying to talk to community people that hey, we could fix this. I know what we need to do. I got it right here in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to listen
Mm-hmm.
because if they didn't think about it, it did. They don't. It's not going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So shooting after shooting after shooting, um, I said, let me write this because this is starting to get to me that nobody's paying attention that this is solvable. In West Virginia, we had the No Violent Act, where it's, you don't, they're not, you can't come to schools creating any kind of form of violence. That's a crime within itself.
Mhm.
So ground zero. And so I wrote the book telling the story. And as I wrote the book, I started saying, we're back in Emmett Till days.
Hmm.
We're back in the days where um, nobody listened to the mother being concerned about her son. It's that woman instinct. That mother had an instinct in her mind that her son was
In
valuable
danger.
to her and he was in danger, but
Mhm.
nobody wanted to listen.
Mhm.
And
And
so,
she sensed it even
yes,
before he left.
yes, yes, yes.
You know, if you want to make comments, I'm sorry,
Hmm.
please feel free to comment on WJZZ Cool TV Facebook page, and or go to YouTube and make your comments. And we will, if you have any questions, we will bring them up. We can see them also on the screen.
All right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's fine. But one of the things was the mother was moving her son from here, thinking he was in danger here,
Hmm.
and he went back to her place where she grew up, and he was in more danger there.
Hmm.
So the moral of the story is not where you move him, is and you got to know where you're going,
Hmm.
because she was thinking that, oh, I'm gonna, in the black community they're killing people over glasses and gym shoes and clothes, and I don't want my son to die like that, so I'm gonna take him, back to where she grew up. And
You talking about the Till story?
no, I'm
You're
talking about
talking
the
about the
story
story
with
in
the
the
young,
book with the
yes,
young man.
the true
Hmm.
story that
Hmm.
that I dealt with,
Hmm.
and realized that that little town wasn't like she remembered it to be, because she was white and he was biracial.
Hmm.
So of course they're seeing him, very handsome young man,
Hmm.
and the girls just loved him, and the boys was like, oh no, you can take our girls and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a battle of that thing.
Yeah. And
But
children could be cruel
oh yeah, they're
in
crossing
their K
lines we
through
would never
12.
cross. I
Hmm.
mean, we knew when to stop.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, we did.
yeah,
Well, we just weren't as violent,
yeah, yeah.
or at least not in some neighborhoods.
Well, that's true. That
Yeah,
is so true.
because other people would have a story that there was a lot of violence
Right.
going on in their
Well,
neighborhood.
that's true. That is so true. That's what he said. Don't cross the tracks. Don't you go on that other side of that track. You know he's gonna get in some trouble. You're not used to that.
Right.
Well, now the track is everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. So, but that's just composing that book and looking back at history
Hmm.
and seeing that we're in the same situation. We're just missing the beat. We're letting the main plan of life, of our lives as people of color, um, we're not paying attention. We're getting back into where we
So,
are right now.
what do you offer as some of the suggestions that you think parents should be doing, and how they should be, things they should be paying attention to, some tips that you can give to some of our parents and or grandparents or family members, because it takes a whole village.
Sure, it
So
does.
if, whether you're the neighbor or the, see, my neighbors could say something to my parents if
That
they
is true.
saw us doing
Okay.
something. I don't know if neighbors still help like that. Maybe in some communities
Hmm.
they do, but grandparents are taking care of their children,
True.
aunties are. So what are some tips that you can offer to
Well,
some of
know
that you
your
share?
child,
Hmm.
because see, this is the thing. If they go from being talkative, active, or just feeling like they have a dream, and they go within themselves and they stop talking, they stop dreaming, and they don't want to sit down with you, as though you're in the way, and you wonder, well, are you hiding something? What's wrong? I mean, you have to really pay attention to their mood swings,
Hmm.
and just let them know it's okay to talk to me. How was your day? Maybe sitting down having dinner with them, you'll find out a lot of stuff. But when you allow them to go in one room and you go in the other one, and they're in the room just really planning for the morrow,
Hmm.
talk
Or
to them.
playing Nintendo or whatever
Yes,
it is,
yes, yes,
PlayStation.
yes.
They can't do that all the time,
No, you
parents.
can't.
You
You
can't do
can't.
that all day long.
You can't.
When they go, and parents, some of these parents, they don't even study. Kids don't study like they used to. We couldn't even watch TV till after you did some kind of homework and study.
We had to study at the table where the
Yes,
parents could see that you're not goofing
exactly.
off.
And you better not be answering a whole bunch of questions wrong like I was.
They would
You
check
get
it.
in trouble.
Let me check your work. Excuse me. And
Exactly.
so you really have to ask your kid, how's your day going? Well, who's your friend?
Hmm.
And kind of meet their friends.
Hmm. I
See if
ask all those questions to my for my grandchildren.
right. and kind of get a feel of, because sometimes even their kids, their friends change
Mm-hmm.
from time to time. Today they could be my best friend. Tomorrow they can be, oh, Johnny don't like me no
And
more.
you have to look at what type of children your children are around.
That is
I
totally
can
correct.
remember when my son was, I don't know, 10, 11, there was a little boy that lived in the neighborhood, and I could see that this little boy was going in the wrong direction. I could see that he was going to end up in detention
Mm-hmm.
by the time he was a teenager.
True.
But, I don't want to just take
You don't want to
my
judge.
instinct and don't
Right.
want to judge him. I said, let me go and meet the parents.
There you go.
So I went over to his house and met his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knew,
What was going to go down?
I knew fully. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had to stop my son. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot play with him anymore, period.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived in the same neighborhood. This was a little boy. Oh, my son thought I was mean.
Mm-hmm.
You so mean. I don't care what you think. I ain't your friend. I see stuff that you don't see.
That is correct.
And by the time that young man was 15,
Mm-hmm.
he was in detention.
See, and those are the moments that people would convince your son,
Mm-hmm.
let's go down here to the store and make sure
Mm-hmm.
he's stealing
Mm-hmm.
or he's innocent and now he's in trouble. But majority of the time, your kids go to school and it's the fact that they don't want to bring their troubles to you, mom or dad. They don't want to get you to see
Or
that,
sometimes they don't want to hear what you're going to say.
well, that too. Now
Yeah.
that too though.
Mm-hmm.
But go to the parent teachers conference.
Mm-hmm.
Get an idea how the teacher is, because sometimes you get teachers are bullying kids. Now I dealt with
Oh.
that with my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wait a minute, now this is a first second grader. How you being funny with my daughter? And then I suggested to go to another teacher because whatever your issues are not my daughter's issues, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to treat your kids really not special, but they're like the most valuable thing that you can see at the moment develop. So you have to really pay attention again what they're not saying.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'd like our parents, some of the parents that are listening to, or just people to comment. Tell me what you're doing or what you experience with your children. How are you interacting with your youth? Or have you noticed any situations of bullying or other things that are happening within the school system that, things that you've noticed?
mhm,
You just said a mouthful when you said you have to go to the parent teacher conferences.
yes,
I did that, ended up becoming the vice president of the PTA, if that's what they called it then.
yes,
And what I saw was that the instructors needed an in service
mhm,
because we lived in a Caucasian area that was becoming a multicultural
okay,
area,
okay,
and they didn't know how to deal with it.
right,
So they needed to learn
hmm,
how to deal with the influx of other cultures that were coming into the community.
right,
And they immediately wanting to put everybody on Ritalin, saying they have ADD.
that's true.
No, ain't nothing wrong with Johnny. You let Johnny cuss you out.
Mm,
See, I don't let Johnny can't cuss me out,
hmm,
nor anybody else. Sit down, Johnny.
right,
Period.
right,
And you got to say it right. So anyway, that happened, and these
hmm,
teachers, instructors had an in service, and it fared better for all of the children.
okay,
And a lot of parents who have put their children on Ritalin, not all of these children needed Ritalin.
true.
They're not all overactive
You know,
students. They're not all bad students. You just got to teach them.
and the student has to kind of love and like the teacher
Mm-hmm.
because you want to hear. It's a respect factor. If
Yeah.
you don't respect the kid's not gonna respect you. If you don't demand respect from the kid's not gonna respect you or like you.
And that's the first thing I say when I walked into the classroom. I'm going to treat you all as men and gentlemen and
Hmm,
women and gentlemen, because I want you to respect me and I'm going to
hmm,
respect you. And if you don't want that,
hmm.
their door is right here.
And it's about having a sense of hope that I can come to you and you can help solve my problem, or you're listening to me. And a lot of times the parent, I'll get away from here, boy. You like you said, you making that big stir, and he's trying to tell you, Mom, I'm depressed. And why are you depressed?
And
Or
a lot of the children are squatting,
yes.
don't
Oh
have.
my God.
Oh, it wrenched
That's a
my heart. I
that's a
just wanted
whole
to take everybody home.
right. That's a whole nother
Yeah.
situation in
Don't
life.
have enough food. And this whole thing about trying to cut the food from the children. That many of them, that's the only meal they're going to
Yes,
get
yes.
for
That's
the day.
some of them have running
Mr.
water.
President, jeez, oh, Pete.
Well, again, but that's another subject.
Yeah, that's another subject.
We don't want them to shut us off when we get good. We like at least having
But
it.
I'm like, Lord have mercy to get some. That really is the only meal that some
Yes,
children get for
yes.
the
They look
day.
forward to that
Breakfast or
breakfast.
that lunch.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're fellowshipping too when they go to school,
Mm-hmm.
because some of them don't have siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them just go home and play that game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only interaction time that they may have.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the moral of the story about um, paying attention to your kids is we all want the best for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And when your kids realize that you want the best for them, but you're not drilling them like they're in some kind of cult, they'll come to you.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell you. But I think when you get to a point too, you let them say anything to you, then
Mm-hmm.
that's another problem we have. Just you.
And
There's got to
admit
be a
to them
sense
when
of
you make a
respect.
mistake. Sometimes.
Well, sometimes kids like to hear your story.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to tell them, when I was, but don't overdo it because you thought, well, we know dad, we know mom when you were little, but they want to hear the stories that matter.
Yeah.
And then, as we grow older, we hear different stories.
Mm-hmm. So you said some of your story came out in this book about life, liberty, and injustice.
Yes, it was basically just telling them what I went through with the parent
Mm-hmm.
and the emotions that the children had and the emotions that the other at the end of the story of his story the school children wrote him a letter, the
Mm-hmm.
young man,
Mm-hmm.
and said, we apologize and we hope you come back to the school because it's not your fault that you had to leave.
Oh, that's good.
And but we said no, it was too emotional for him.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a child that wanted to be uh, a basketball star only to take his mother out of the trailer park
Mm-hmm.
to give her a better life. That was his dream, to do something for his mother, and they killed his dream.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you have to make sure, that where your children roam, their dreams are not being taken away
It's true.
from and we
And
lose so
allow
many
them to
people
still
like,
dream.
yeah, I mean, it's wonderful to have a vision, of hope,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what it's all about. And but we got to get some justice so we can have some dreams.
All right now. So tell us about this power tour that's
Well,
coming up about justice.
I'm really excited to express to everyone about the power tour. The power tour is this is our turn in history for Detroit. The power tour is going from state to state.
It's the
Next
State
week,
of the Power People
it's
Tour.
State of the People
State of
Power
the
Tour.
People Power Tour.
Yes. This weekend it'll be in Atlanta,
Okay.
and you'll probably see it on the news or hear about it. But we're going to have a turn in Detroit. They're going from Georgia to North Carolina to Alabama, Montgomery, Birmingham, New Orleans, New Jersey, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, and we're going to have our turn in Detroit in May,
May
and
the
to
21st
the 22nd,
through the
2 days.
22nd.
And we're asking people, and it's going to be in California and the other states as well. But
Mm-hmm.
the purpose of this tour is to try to find out, what do we need from, what does the black people need, is going to need, because when this crisis comes down with our president,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to be behind out. And so this is an opportunity for us to try to get on our feet with information. If you're elders, you might want to come where this tour is, and maybe we can help you find age. If you need something dealing with your aging, some home care, we can direct you to things. We're hoping to have people that can help pay some bills, a water bill, light bill, gas bill. That's the plan. We're hoping that if you know some people that are giving out clothes, food, hey,
Me.
bring it on, as they
We
say.
give out, well, I have started a foundation
Hmm.
called the White, WYTE
Okay,
Charity Foundation. We
okay,
give out furniture.
okay.
We get people off the floors.
Well, we
We
need to
get people couches to sit on, dishes to use, pots
see.
and pans, and sheets and towels and lamps and everything.
Well, you
Everything
need to be a
TVs in our
part
home.
of this because
I don't need another
I
organization. No,
know.
I'll
Just,
come.
well, just come and see because again, you know, the more people that come and
I'll
participate,
come and share our information with
yeah,
the community.
that's fine.
Hmm.
That's good. Um, but the main thing is to help uplift us as people of color to
Hmm.
come in each community, find out what we need, bring some resources, and if we don't have the resources there, maybe we can bring them back to the people. But workshops.
So, how are you all getting this out to? I'm thinking of some of the organizations,
Hmm.
Crossroads and the Detroit Rescue Mission and aid their agencies even out there that aren't as big names as those
Yes.
that are helping people but need to make people more aware of their services
Well, we need
as
to get in
well.
contact. This is one of those grassroots things
Hmm.
where we're asking people if you know of any organizations, tell them to come and be a part of this because people need information. We don't want anybody to leave and not have any knowledge when they leave.
I need you to come somewhere next Sunday.
Sure.
And I have asked for a table
Okay.
just so people can share at Lomax Temple,
Okay.
so people can share
Hmm.
their community organization, what they're doing. And this church is saying, hey, people, come out of the church and hear organizations and areas that you can serve in. So
Well,
I'm going to
I'm
get
gonna
that
be
to you
there.
and
I
have
would
bring your
definitely.
information to put on this table.
I sure will. I'll definitely be there. And if you're one of the people that's sitting at home and you want to do something,
Hmm.
don't wait till the election to do something. We have to do something every day. We're in a very serious times. My motto is put down the guns and pick up a shovel.
Mm.
We're going to have to learn how to grow food.
Hmm.
We're going to have to be self sufficient. Every race is self sufficient. Well, this is our turn now. We know how to do stuff. We're just not realizing that this is the time we have to realize we've got to do it. So
So,
if
how
you,
can they get in touch with you if they want to become a part of doing some things, community organizations,
yes,
empowering communities? So, how can they get in touch with you or the group?
yes, you're going to go online and look up State of the People Power Tour. And you're going to
Mhm.
fill the form out and it'll put you in touch with the local people that are working together. I'm on the program and security division. We're
Okay.
looking people, we need people in the media to help work and get this thing out.
Okay.
We're looking for
Well, we'll be
grassroots
talking
people.
about it more.
Yes, we need
Keep getting the word
grassroots
out.
people to come and shoot your best shot. Show us
Hmm.
what you have, what you're about, and what you need. And this is what it's all about. If you look at the news this weekend, see how Atlanta's doing it,
Hmm.
and then you maybe say, "Oh, shoot, I think we can do that too."
So I see on the first day, because it's a 2 day event, so you're
Yes,
going to have relief and resilience and
yes,
about talking about community service and provisions being
yes,
provided for communities. A town hall meeting where you'll have different speakers and members talk about different things respective to whatever the community is around the country.
yes,
And then joint legislative field hearing. So you're going to have different elected officials that will be there as well.
yes. Come get your blood pressure checked.
Okay,
Come.
so health and
Yes,
things will
come
be there
talk
too.
to us about housing. Come talk to us to see if we can get somebody to pay some of your bills. Not all your bills. Don't stack them up because we have to pass the money around.
Hmm.
And just tell us what's important to you. Are you trying to get on? Are you trying to buy a house? Are you need a low income housing? Um, are you trying to? Are you? Do you need a good social worker to
Mm.
help you get into the system of what you need to do? This is the thing we're realizing. Every ethnic group has someone helping them. So when they get some help, they're going to automatically go straight to where they need to go. And sometimes we have people in our community that can't read, don't know how to fill out a form, or just need some help, just understanding I'm in this situation. Can someone guide me to how to get to point A to B?
Mhm.
And this is where we're trying. This may be the first, and we're going to figure this thing out. But we know that our community needs continuous help.
Mhm.
And if we don't start somewhere, we're going to wait till the lights are out, and then we're going to be running around trying to get some help, and all the help will be dried up.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing, and I know that people don't want to always do this. We need to start communing together
And that's what we're trying to do.
because every other culture, they'll live five to a house.
Yes.
We like, oh no, I can't do that. I gotta have my own. But that's how they have more power with their dollars,
Sure.
resources.
Yes.
There's just more power in communal living.
And there's a technique to that kind of lifestyle.
Hmm.
James can't be on the couch sleeping. James has to do something.
Yeah,
We all
everybody's got to do
everybody
something.
it's got to be
Can't
like an
nobody be on the
engine.
couch sleeping
Right.
unless his grandma that's 90.
And he's taking care of grandma and making sure
Exactly.
that everything is taken
Or
care of. Those
grandpa.
right. Everybody has a position,
Everybody has a
and we've
position.
got to get back. Even with the caregivers, man, we've got to get back realizing that we have to put in a till for the caregiver. People
Hmm.
think because you're caregiving, you got it made. That's a big job.
Hmm.
That is a huge job. And hopefully, if you come to this state of the people, you'll meet someone there can give you some directions in terms of how you can help your loved ones for aging.
So again, the dates here will be May 21st
Yes.
through May 22nd. And where is this being held?
We're okay. I can't tell you that right now because that is one of the things that they're finalizing as we speak.
Okay.
So I will get back with you on that.
And so
But it's
where do
going to be in
people go to
Detroit for
hear more
sure.
about it?
You can go
What
online.
website?
Yes, you're
What's
going
the
to go
website?
State of the People
State of the
People
People Power
Power
Tour
Tour. Yep. .org.
dot org. So go to State of the People Power Tour
Tour.
dot org, and you can see the various cities. It started April. It starts April 26th. That's this weekend
Yes, in Atlanta,
in
Georgia.
Atlanta. Then it's going to Durham. Then Montgomery, New Orleans, Newark, New Jersey, Richmond, Virginia, Detroit, Michigan, Jackson, Mississippi,
Mississippi.
Louisville, Kentucky, and Atlanta, Georgia. I mean,
And
Altadena,
yes, trying to now
California.
see the whole thing, even with California, is to help those people that were burnt out. Their
Mm.
homes were burnt out, and they're not getting any support, any help. Somehow, the power structures of the black community realizes that they've got to come back home
Mm.
and help our people. And for them to come back home, they've got to help figure out how to bring the money home or get our politicians to get busy for us.
And so on the website, there's also a QR code
Yes.
where people can RSVP or
Yes.
volunteer to
Yes.
help or share their or your organization or organizations that you're aware of. But more important, you got to put your boots on the ground.
Hey, that's what time it is.
That's what
Come
time it is. Put them
share the
boots on.
wealth.
Don't just do the dance. Let's put some boots on the ground. Come out of the four walls and get out into the streets. And we've got to help one another. We're blessed to be a blessing, and we have to support one another, not just with our lip service, and but with our activity, our physical being, and with our dollars, because I'm sure you all need
Yes.
financial support
Yes.
as well. And all of that information is on the State of the People Power Tour.org.
We're going to make history. You
Mm,
wait and see.
yes, yes. And it's a wonderful thing. And it's culminating with the national convening on Juneteenth.
Yes.
So that's awesome. When I saw that, I said, "Oh, I just got a Juneteenth T-shirt."
Go ahead. You can wear
Well,
it.
I had got it last year,
Okay.
but I said I'm going to wear it out this year.
Yes. Yes.
And so, anything else you want to let us know? And also, your book about life, liberty, and injustice can be found. It's about education, bullying, and hate crimes by Khadijah. How do you say your middle
Tia.
name? Tia Muhammad, and that can be found on Amazon.
Amazon or go to your local bookstore and tell them to order it for you. You can Google it as well and get a copy for your kids. Get a copy for you. To me, it should be on the dinner table, not on and the cocktail table. Not because it's my book, but we're in those times now, and we need some support, and we need to know what to look out for. And
Okay.
everybody has a story.
Hmm.
Tell yours.
All right now. Are there any other excerpts or things that you want to share with us from your book that would be, points to give?
Mental health.
Oh, that's a
Mental
huge one.
health. We're gonna find eventually there's a mathematical equation between hate crimes and bullying. There's something mentally going on when you want to torture someone else. There's something mentally going on
Hurt
when you,
people, hurt people.
yes, there you go. That's that philosophy.
It's
And
true.
you'll find that there may be in a generation to generation um, progression that has existed in some races to be that way with other people. And so, even in your own home, realize that mental health is real. Be be able to get some help. You can call 8988, a national number, and get some help for your loved ones. Everybody has to be in positions and be aware of what's going on in your home front, even around you, because the tighter it gets, the tighter we get in our minds. And so know that if someone needs some help and something's not right, don't look at it as though, oh, something, whatever. Live another day, get them some help, because all this violence and corruption and greed sometimes can take people in a whole nother direction. And don't look at the things you have, look at where we need to go as a people. We've got to come together, give information, and help one another, because this is one dance we've got to do together.
That's right. Thank you very much, Khadijah Muhammad.
Thank you.
We've got right here on WJZZ Cool TV Community Updates is the name of the podcast. Again, I'm your host, Michelle White. And we thank you for tuning in. And we thank you, Miss Khadijah Muhammad, for being our guest this evening. And be sure and go to State of the People Power Tour. Get more information. Sign up to volunteer. That's stateofthepeoplepowertour.org. If they have a make a monetary donation, but more importantly, they need hands on. They need people to come out, be a part of this event, and you'll find out where it's going to be here locally, but you'll see all the different locations around the country. Again, that's State of the People Power Tour, and you can go to Amazon to get Khadijah's book, Life, Liberty, and Injustice. As she stated, it's a coffee table book. It's one to have around the dinner table so that you can talk about these things and be more aware of what's going on in the community and see how you can help and listen to your children. Do not dismiss the things that they're saying, so that we all need help and we have to help each other. And we have a responsibility to help take care of our youth. So, again, thanks for tuning in to Community Updates. I'm your host, Michelle White. Thank you so much, Khadijah,
My
for
pleasure.
being our guest this evening. And I've got a couple of organizations that I'm going to share with you uh,
Look
shortly.
forward to it. Thank you so much. It
Yes,
was a pleasure.
yes, it's my
Time goes
pleasure as well.
fast when you're having fun.
It does, it does.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Well, everyone, have a